welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
Today we're talking about Vanderpump Rules, Season 11, Episode 15, Season Finale.
The grand finale, and I do think it is the grand finale. I think the curtain has closed on this show.
I do too.
We'll get there. But
I do too.
Yeah.
So I have it starting out with Brock and Scheana are talking about how she feels about her conversation with Sandoval, and that Sandoval is helping set up everything for the performance that night, and that the rest of the crew is going on some trolley tour, but Scheana went, but Sandoval stayed back. And she finds out at this point that he paid for and brought his own audio guy to San Francisco for her show and her performance.
Yep.
I mean, listen.
That's why Brock and Scheana are riding so hard for Sandoval.
And, you know, like she said, he Venmo'd her money when she was down. Like, he does show up. He says it. I show up. He does show up. I mean, we saw what he did for James and Raquel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he really does. He goes all out. I don't get him. I really don't get him. Like, you can call him a narcissist, but is a narcissist someone who gives so much of themselves?
I mean, it's mostly monetary. Let's face it.
No, but
he's
it's not monetary.
The situation.
It's not, though, because he does show up. He helped plan the whole thing. Like, he, you know, was there setting up.
Yeah. So maybe you're right. Maybe narcissist isn't the right word for him. I mean, selfish, absorbed, can't see past himself sometimes.
Yeah. I am starting to think about this whole thing differently. And remind me when we get to the end, because when Lala started talking, I thought, you know what? There's a lot of insight to that.
For sure. And I saw a little clip of the Brav Bros, and he was like, production did her dirty. Did Ariana.
Well, because I told you they're like Team Ariana. I don't think production did her dirty.
I think the only way production did her dirty was shoving the cameras back in her face when this all went down. That, to me, you know, if this truly was a breakup of a 10-year relationship because of infidelity with her best friend or a friend, whatever
we're calling it.
Yeah. Give her time. Like that. And I remember hearing Andy Cohen say, when I got the phone call, I said, "You got the cameras rolling yet?" And I thought, that's so insensitive. So that's my personal opinion. That's the only way production did her dirty, but that's their job.
Right.
And she had to agree with it, right?
Right. She could have said no.
Yeah.
She could have said no.
Agree with it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. So then Lala is grilling Dan.
She went in.
Like rapid fire. I don't know how long that whole thing took, or they just edited it like rapid fire, but I was like, ooh,
I loved it.
I did too. She's asking all the questions we want to know.
I loved every second of it, and I truly do think she was just trying to protect Ariana.
Oh, 100%.
Because this guy could be a clout chaser. We don't know.
100%. She was definitely trying to protect Ariana. And to be honest with you, it didn't even look like Ariana was upset about it.
No, it didn't.
Right?
I tell you what she was upset about, though, that they fucking bring up Sandoval again. Scheana, I can't stand her right now for that reason. Every time she's with Ariana, she starts talking about Sandoval. Stop. Like, they were sitting there all eating. He wasn't even there. Why are you bringing him up?
Yeah. Listen, I agree with that. I think the reason that she was bringing him up is because it is something that was really weighing heavy on her, that in her heart, she wanted to move forward with Sandoval, but she was afraid because of what Ariana said, that she couldn't be friends with Ariana if she moved forward. And that was really weighing heavy on her.
Don't you think, though, at this point, because it was fresh, it was new, if she just moved on with him lightly, like tread lightly, like she is, and not bringing it up to Ariana and just saw where it went, just do it lightly, keep him at arm's length, however you want to play it, but you really, when it comes down to it, you don't need Ariana's approval. If she's not going to be your friend over that, there's probably something else she's not going to be your friend over too. So
I don't think Scheana was at that place yet. I think that Lala was trying to tell her that. I think that
yeah,
Lala was trying to explain that to Scheana. Like, either she's
that's
gonna either she's gonna be
yeah,
your friend or she's not, but
right,
you have to
right.
live your true life. But Scheana was just struggling with it. And I really believe that she was struggling with it,
Sometimes I think Sheena's acting, but that's just
Yeah.
me.
I mean,
You know,
it could be. It could be. But I
yeah,
do know that, she, during the same time that she was taking medication for her postpartum OCD. And
yeah,
then that was making her tired. So she stopped taking that. So I do know that she wasn't really emotionally stable herself.
right, right.
And,
It was altered. She was altered. Yeah,
right. And even her relationship with Brock at that time wasn't really great. Not like it is now, because they were kind of
no,
going through it too. So, she had a lot of things going on in her head. Like, if Tom could do this to Ariana, maybe Brock could do this to me. And I don't want to lose Ariana because she's like a sister to me. And,
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes I think Brock needs to let Scheana fight her own battles, though. Like Scheana says things, and then somebody comes back at her, and Brock steps right in, and I like that, and I like that he protects his wife. But if she's gonna say it, she could fight her own battles a little bit more. Like don't step in so quickly.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I also think that when Scheana was bringing it up to Ariana about the conversation that she had with Sandoval and how he finally was getting it, like she saw the mask lifted when she mentioned about, weaponizing the mental health. I think her intention and the purpose of that conversation was to see if she would be receptive to an apology. And she shut it down immediately.
Yeah,
And that should have been her clue that,
Mm-hmm.
don't go there, because she doesn't want any part of it. Like,
No, it's too soon.
it's
She
kind of
hates him.
right.
Nothing he could do or say right now is going to do any good. So
Right.
let it be. Time heals all wounds, and that is very true.
It reminded me of the whole conversation with Margaret and Jen Fessler, when Jen was trying to build a bridge between Margaret and Teresa about the whole Louis situation. And she's like, don't even mention my name. And
No.
that's where Ariana is, in the exact same place. I don't want him talking to me. I don't want him breathing. She literally said, I don't want him breathing the same air I'm breathing.
Yeah.
And, they are both very strong with that, both her and Margaret,
Yeah. So I know we're going to get there, but I do understand where they're coming from, where they're like, but you're still living with him.
Yes.
You're still sharing a roof. So, but I know we're going to get there.
Yeah, we are going to get there.
I get there. I mean, I get that.
So then they get back, and then Brock had arranged for something special for Scheana with the rose petals. I thought that was really sweet, and some chocolate.
Super sweet. Yeah.
And then Schwartz is telling Sandoval that he met Dan and that he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Lala's trying to talk to Katie about Ariana not allowing Scheana to live her true life and have a friendship with Sandoval. And, Katie's right there, not having any part of it.
No, Katie's not going to have any part of that.
And, we see that later on when poor Joe comes over and tries to, talk to Katie. Honestly, she's just a bitch.
She really is.
And when Joe said to her, I know I'm jumping too, but when, Joe said to her, I apologize. I'm sorry. And you just don't want anybody else to have him. Like, you don't want him, but you don't want anyone else to have him.
And she's spot on. Katie still thinks she can control Schwartz's life, and Schwartz fucking lets her.
Yep.
He totally lets her. Joe was 100% right. Like, listen, I don't know if Katie thought, if Katie just didn't want Joe on the show or whatever, but that girl went over and apologized to you. She didn't kill your dog.
Right.
She started seeing your ex-husband.
Right. Right.
Okay. She sent you a nice text when you got divorced, like Team Katie, great. And then she went and did that. That's hurtful, sure. But you're not with him anymore. You don't want to be with him anymore.
Right.
You said no to a one-night stand last night.
Right.
So let him be with who he's going to be with. She's not your best friend. She's not your sister.
Right. And like Joe had pointed out, it wasn't like it was the next day. There was months in between.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when Katie was kind of going for her, I like that Lala's like, no, don't say that to Katie.
Yep.
Yep. Like Lala has really grown.
Yeah.
From the very beginning.
She has. And I hate when, like, because people are tearing her up on social media too. I guess
they
Ariana
are
supporters.
Yeah.
But like, she really has come a long way. Her and James, like, just God bless them.
Yeah.
Just I hate to see when people are so nasty online. I mean, I comment all the time, but I don't get nasty.
Well, there's no need to.
Maybe about Teresa. No, I don't even think I get nasty about her. I really don't. I say facts.
There you go.
That's all.
Then what else is happening? So I didn't know the name of the whiskey, so it's Gold Bar Whiskey Distillery, which makes sense that she was going to sing her Good as Gold song, but we heard her sing Apples finally, which I was glad to hear, but I really didn't get the words, but everyone was loving it.
I was so happy to hear that song and not Good as Gold. I started writing, good Lord, we're going to hear Good as Gold again. And I was like, oh, we're not.
No, right?
Thank you. Yes. How about when James told Allie that she is his priority?
I like that.
That was very sweet. And then thankfully she went back and said, she's not ready now to get married, but when she is, she'll want it to be to him. So
I like that part too.
Yeah.
And then we go to the whole Joe situation where she's talking to, Schwartz and, she's trying to build a bridge. She's trying just to coexist. And Katie was not allowing it.
No, but when she said, let him go, she was spot on. How about when Sandoval and Schwartz went over by where Ariana and Danny were sitting and they were like yelling at each other like, hey, how are you?
That was so awkward.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden
they were there.
Right. And then all of a sudden Sandoval decides he's going to go over and shake his hand and introduce himself while Ariana's on her phone.
Yeah. And you know what?
Good for him.
I think it was the right thing to do. Of course it was awkward, but I don't think that any situation where that played out wouldn't have been awkward.
I agree.
It was the right thing to do, and he did it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And Dan seemed fine with it.
He did seem fine with it.
He's way more mature than Ariana. And again, it didn't happen to him, but still.
Right.
You think he would kind of try. I guess he knows better than to try and even broach the subject because it's not going to go anywhere. She's not.
No,
she doesn't want to hear it. I feel like
soon.
today. But even today, I don't think she's ready to hear it. Because he was on Tom Sandoval was on Watch What Happens Live last night. Did you see it?
I didn't watch it yet, but it's in my DVR. Him and Jax, right?
Him and Jax. And one of the questions.
Was it hard to get through?
It was actually kind of funny, to be quite honest with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because, Sandoval and Jax were kind of fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, like they had that little beef there?
Yeah.
But Andy was asking, it was kind of funny. Andy was asking them questions like, can you defend Jax doing this? And they were able to defend each of their bad actions, which I thought was pretty good. Wow. They were getting along pretty well.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'll watch that tonight. I don't think there's the Knicks might be on tonight, but there's no Bravo stuff on tonight. I think it's the Top Chef or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. And so Andy had asked him what's going on with the house. And he said, I can't say at this point, but something's in the works, but I can't say what. So we'll see.
I thought he bought her out, didn't he?
I don't know. I don't know.
He could have bought her out and is now selling it for way more than what I don't know that he did buy her out.
I don't know that he did buy her out.
Okay. I thought I read it.
He admitted that she has bought another house and she's not living there, but he didn't say what has happened with the house yet. So
okay.
I mean, he needs someplace to live. Where's he going to go if he sells it?
Yeah, of course. So
then I have Schwartz said when they were fighting and, Joe walks away. She gets up. Joe said, Schwartz says, listen, she came over to make peace, not to confront you. And then Joe gets up and walks away. And then Sandoval goes over to Brock and thanks him for sticking up for him when they were out on the boat. because Schwartz let him know that, listen, Brock was there for
Yeah.
you. And Brock's like, listen, you've always been there for me. You know, I'm going to say the right thing, and I'm going to support you
Yeah.
because you've been
And you
nothing.
send me money when I need it. So,
But he's been nothing but good to his wife. You know,
yeah, I know.
he knows that Scheana and him have been close for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Then Kyle Chan introduces Scheana Marie. I thought that was interesting. I guess she's trying to kind of change it, but her legal name is still Scheana Shea.
Yeah.
And Landis from the 27s, and she sings her Apple song. And Tom admits that it's growing on him, and he's happy that he gets to see her thriving, which I thought that was good.
Yeah. I don't think he's the type of guy that needs somebody else to do like, you know, we always say that, like, there are people out there that want to blow out your candle because they think theirs will burn brighter.
Yes.
I don't think Sandoval is one of those at all. I do
don't
think
either.
that he is grateful for his success, willing to share whatever he has.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what he did, just like what Schwartz said, and I understand what Ariana was saying, but he's like, oh wait, was this at the end? Somebody said he did a shitty thing, and she was like, one shitty thing. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, I think they had an open relationship. I don't think that they were ever honest with their relationship. And I remember Jack saying that seasons ago, that people really don't know what's going on. But the fact that he did what he did with Raquel and carried on, like, he had an affair. And I think that that's what Schwartz was trying to say. Like, the affair was the one thing. It wasn't a one-time, one-night stand.
Right.
But I think he did have those one-time, one-night stands. And she probably looked the other way because that was just what their relationship was. But the fact that it carried on for so long, and it was her, and you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's kind of where this whole thing ends, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Is where, you know, she walks out, production tries to tell her not to walk out because Tom was trying to talk to her and she was not having it. So she storms out like in a fit. And Tom is like, listen, she doesn't get to treat people like this. Like, she's here to do a job just like all of us. If she doesn't want to film with me, then don't film with me.
Yep.
Don't sit on your ass and collect a paycheck when everyone else here is showing up and working.
Because that's pretty much what she's done all along.
Yeah, this whole season.
She's pretty
well, even before this.
Since she's been on the show.
Yes, you're right. What
Other
has she
than
done?
when she first came on,
right,
basically as the other woman when he was with Kristen, she really has just sat back and collected a paycheck. She really, truly has. So they're right. They are right.
No,
and
I
look
agree.
At all of these other opportunities she's getting.
Yeah, and she's going back to Chicago again.
Yeah, I saw that. I guess
that after she's done with Love Island.
Yeah.
And she's still like on every commercial. I always see her now on commercials.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, she's doing great.
Yeah,
let her continue to do great.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine. Yeah. She'll probably never talk to any of these people ever again.
I did think that was interesting, though, when this happened and she stormed out and Tom went over to them and says, "You don't know what she says behind your back."
That's what I mean.
I wonder how true that is, because I could see it. I could definitely see it. I could see it.
For sure.
And that's when, Lala's like, listen, I've bit my tongue for as long as I could, but I can't do it. I'm going to break the fourth wall. I'm going to tell you how I feel. They have not been living their true relationship on this show. They have not had growth. It is what it is, and she even admits her downfalls,
Right.
Scheana gave us.
I don't know if they think that because without Ariana, the show can't go on. I mean, I do think that the show is ending for other reasons than that. I don't think that they can blame Ariana for the show ending.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think it ran its course.
I felt like they were kind of doing. I agree with you. I think it ran its course.
I think it ran its course.
But I do hope to see Scheana. I do hope to see all of them except Katie and Ariana, quite honestly, on the Valley. I'm hoping they all go over to the Valley.
Or do something else. You know what? I mean, they can do other things. There's other things out there. You don't have to just do reality TV. I mean, Scheana and Brock, they did the Lopez and Lopez.
Yeah.
And Brock is trying to get into doing more acting. Scheana loves acting.
Yeah.
Lala has done so, she's got some credits to her. That go do that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have to put it all out there. Scheana has her podcast, which is very successful. Lala has her podcast, which is very successful.
Yeah.
James Kennedy is, touring with Paulie D.
Paulie D. I
Yeah.
know. Too bad we're not young anymore. And
I know.
They come on so late. I
They
can't.
do
I
come
can't
on
do
so
it.
late.
And I don't
know.
get that music. I don't,
I
my
mean,
club days are over.
Watching DJ James Kennedy DJ anything is just like awe-inspiring. The energy that he has and he gives to his show it's amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing.
For
like
sure.
he's a true talent. He really is. And he's come a long way.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him. I'm very happy for him. How about those flashbacks? How young Schwartzy looked when oh my God.
The only one I think didn't change is Katie. I think Katie looks exactly the same.
I'll give it to her. You're right.
But Lala looks like a baby. I mean, Ariana, a baby. Sandoval, they all look so young.
Yeah.
But Schwartz was huge, especially since in the finale he had that horrible blonde hair.
Oh my God. Thank God he got rid of that. So did you hear the very ending when Schwartz said that was a plot twist?
Yes.
And then Sandoval said, I'm here for it because she made me look better.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I agree with that, but I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I just don't feel like, at the end when, so Lala did her whole big spiel. And honestly, I think that she was the star of it. Like, we heard a little bit from Katie and we heard a little bit from Ariana, but Ariana was saying that, listen, if he really wanted to apologize to me or talk to me, he could have done it off camera. But could he have done it off camera? But could he have done it off camera? Do you think so? I mean, she said he could have left me a note on the counter.
Production would have picked that up.
Yeah. I mean, and you wouldn't even go downstairs unless you called the assistant to make sure he wasn't there.
I'd like to think that he could have arranged to have a conversation with her and apologize, but who knows?
Who says that he didn't?
Right.
Who says that he didn't try?
Right. And she wasn't ready to hear it. Right.
We only know from her that she didn't try. He didn't try. Who says that he didn't try?
Yeah. No, you're right. That's the thing. They can say whatever they want.
Right. Right. But the music at the end, the old photos, I was like, this is it. This
is it.
They're not coming back. And I think that if there was that scene with the fight, I guess they just decided to take it out because it's only going to hurt them at this point. Certainly not going to help anything.
Right. And it's not going to lead to anything for next season because there won't be a next season.
Right. And they didn't say that. They did not say that. They just said it's on pause.
Right.
They said it's on pause.
But that finale definitely eluded.
Yeah. And it's weird because before they had the reunion, Lala led us to believe that there was something that happened at the finale that was so explosive. And I don't really think it was that Ariana left.
No, it must have been that fight.
It must have been that fight that we're never going to see.
I can't remember who it was, but I do remember hearing about it.
I'm going to see if I can find something.
Yeah, it's weird that you can't find anything.
It is weird, right?
Yeah.
I don't know either.
Well.
All right. Next, the Valley.
The Valley.
The Valley.
Do you hate Jax as much as I do after this episode? Like the douche level is off the charts.
It's unbelievable.
With this guy. It really is.
I agree. It's funny because I never liked him, but I like him less if that's even possible.
I agree with you 100%.
I mean, I wrote down 28 minutes after he walked out on Brittany crying, he came back. 28 minutes. He left her there crying. That's a long time to leave your wife there crying.
Yep. On your special date night.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Brittany calls her mom when he goes to take a shower with Cruz. I did think it was cute that he was going to take Cruz to shower.
Yeah, that was cute. Her mother must absolutely hate him.
Well, can you imagine if that was your daughter?
No, I don't.
No. Jax
it's
wouldn't
like
even.
When Heidi married Spencer, it was like, what are you doing? Although
Spencer's grown.
I think he has grown, but Jax is not.
No, I think Jax has regressed, if that's even possible.
Agreed. He was probably doing the best he has ever when he was not on a reality show these past couple of years. In between Vanderpump and the Valley. That was probably the best version of Jax we're ever going to get or see.
But is it though? Because that's when he was on House of Villains and he was still screwing.
That's right.
And
That's
even
right.
she was talking about that. Brittany was talking about that. Like he didn't even try. Like he just like showed up. Like that's what he does. He doesn't even put an effort in. He just thinks if I show up, it's a show.
Yeah.
Like I am the main attraction. I don't need to.
He is a narcissist.
Absolutely. I don't need to play the game. I don't need to do this. I am it. I am the star. If I'm here, then you're all good. And that's what I really think he thinks.
To go home? I didn't watch that show.
I didn't watch it either. I think he was. And it doesn't surprise me because like, you know, he would never even watch the show to see how it's played or what you have to do. He'd be like, I'm not doing that. That's stupid.
Right.
Okay, then why did you leave your wife and kid to come here?
Right.
Because I'm the star and they needed me, you know? In his mind, this is what he thinks.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So then Janet is inviting everyone but Kristen to her house for the hibachi dinner.
You know what's funny? We just talked about doing this with the Veshies.
You did? Bringing it to your house?
Not my house, their house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tell the Veshies, I want to come.
All right. I know, isn't it? Doesn't that sound fun?
It does sound like fun.
I know. I was like, damn.
I mean, Kristen couldn't go to that. It would not have worked. It would have been too volatile. I mean, Jesse was not, you know, he made it perfectly clear that he does not want to be in the same room as her or the same outdoor area because they were inside.
Honestly, I don't blame Michelle and Jesse. I kind of have a problem with Janet not wanting Kristen around, though.
Oh, I do too. Because Janet's the biggest pot stirrer. She's the second biggest pot stirrer next to Jax.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. And it's so weird because, no, it's actually not weird. Because if you think about it, Jason and Brittany are like the two best of the, like Jason and Brittany should be together.
Yeah. They're so stable.
They've got such good hearts. They've got such good values. And then their spouses are just shit shows.
Train wrecks.
Right?
Complete train wrecks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then poor Brittany had to leave because she wasn't feeling well. I wonder what that was about. And then he's giving her a hard time about drinking. She had one shot of sake.
I can't. That upset me so much. Where he was like, he was
like attacking her.
Yeah, like just such an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I told you not to. That's what you get. Like, fuck you. How about trying to make her feel better and did you call an Uber? Why don't you fucking call her an Uber, asshole? Oh, I can't stomach him.
I cannot Can you imagine if I went someplace with Bill and I said I wasn't feeling well if he said that to me? Can you imagine?
No. I can't see any of our husbands acting like that.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. He's really, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
So then Kristen is meeting up with Jasmine to tell her that Jax told her that Kristen had the information about Michelle. And then it winds up.
Jasmine said, you and Jax are so much alike. And she's like, I don't think so.
And then Kristen winds up saying, no, it wasn't. It was Jax that told me and he got the information from Brittany. And then they're trying to bring Brittany in. Brittany's like, listen, I have nothing to do with this. I said nothing to anybody. Stop dragging me into this.
Yep. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Because she probably did tell Jax. And that stupid ass went and opened his mouth.
It's funny because I know now she knows better than to tell him anything. But I feel like she's always known who he was.
Right.
Maybe it was a weak moment or something like, you know, she just thought.
And sometimes you get like, because it's a celebrity, right? Supposedly it's a celebrity, whoever she was carrying on with.
I don't think it was, though. I don't think it was a celebrity. I don't think that any of that is true because what she was saying when I heard her on the podcast is when they were talking about like who she was meeting at the Chateau Marmont, it was actually a client. They didn't name the client, but the client is a famous director. And she was working with this client and she brought Jesse and her daughter there. The whole family met him. They were all there. It wasn't like this behind.
Okay, so there's no validity to that.
Right. There's not. And
Right.
like, there's not, unless we find out something else happened. I mean, she may have been texting somebody, but I don't think it was a celebrity, for one.
Right.
And I don't think it's what they're all alluding to, but it's like the telephone game that went wrong, as it always does.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I'm starting to like Zach more too.
I am too, and I felt bad for him at the end. I know we'll get there, but I felt bad for him.
Yeah, because listen, he's there because of Brittany. That's how he wound up. That's how he wound up there. You know, he said on probably Kristen's podcast, actually, he said that he was at a point in his life where he's been on quite a few things, actually. He's got some IMDb credits. But he was at a point in his life where he was going to leave Kentucky because being a gay boy or a young man in Kentucky is just not happening, right?
Right.
And he was calling up Brittany to say, either I'm going to LA or I'm going to New York. Like, I can't stay here. And Brittany had just moved in with Jax, and he's like, all right, well, I'll come check this out. And that's how he wound up there in LA. So they've been friends for a very long time.
Yeah.
That's how he met Kristen. They've been friends also through Brittany for a very long time.
Right.
He tries to help her. He tries to, steer her in the right direction.
It seems like he tries to help all of them because he's being a very good friend to Kristen too, especially when he went to set up her event and she was laying there on her phone.
Yes. Absolutely. Like, he is the good friend. He really is.
Yeah. How about that game they played, Drag Your Heart? So awkward with Jesse and Michelle, though.
It was awkward. I did like that Jax and Zach were partners, though.
I did like that, too.
And Zach got the answers right. And
I love that Jasmine was everybody's choice for a three-way, basically.
I love that, too. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
And then, so Jesse is going on the spiritual retreat that was set up by his life coach so that they will be doing the hallucinogens.
Yeah. And Michelle basically tells him, you should be doing this for you, not us.
Right.
That wasn't great. That wasn't great. She's checked out. She's 100% checked out. But he should be
doing it for himself. I mean.
No, I agree. But just his motivation was obviously to do that to try to save his marriage.
Well, that's what he said. Yeah. This is his Hail Mary. He's trying to make it work.
Yeah.
But even Danny said to him, like, is this the way to make it work? Or is it maybe more therapy with your wife? Like, to go off and do drugs with your life coach? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, she said, I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
I like that she's honest. And, they're in a good place now.
I'm just picturing Louie's retreat, basically, is what I'm
picturing. My God. I can't even imagine. I wish we had that would be a good reality show to watch. Louie's retreat. I mean,
if he comes back with Warrior on his chest, we're going to have to worry about him for a little bit. Jesse.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I like that they went to the self-defense class because Nia was like hosting them and teaching. I love her. I so love her and Danny.
I do too, and I think that Janet and Michelle should have gone.
They definitely should have gone. It was ridiculous.
That was terrible.
It was ridiculous. I agree. I 100% agree. They definitely should have went there, and it was their loss.
Yeah,
it was their loss.
For sure. Yeah.
Then Jasmine tells Brittany what Kristen is saying, and that's when Brittany's like, "I want no part of this. I said nothing." And that's the thing I like about this show is when one person says somebody else said something, they actually go back to that person. I've never seen another show where they do that. They just talk behind each other's backs, or or they'll do it in a confessional, or like they don't go and confront the other person or let the other person know.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And I like that they do that on this show, and I think that's what will make it do well, personally. Right. I think that's why it's doing well. Someone's at your door?
Yeah, that's okay. We can keep talking.
All right. Yeah, and then I have the day of the James May event, Zach is there helping, and Kristen admits that she never invited Janet or Michelle, even though Zach told her to. And like you said, she's like laying down, and he's like, what are you doing? He's like running around trying to get everything ready.
Sweating his balls off, this guy. Yes.
Yeah. And then Jax and Brittany are going, and Jax is like, I don't even know what this is. Like, you don't hear me. Like, why are you showing up? Like, why are you showing up?
Yeah, it's like
just to be on camera?
Yeah. Yeah. He can't just be. He can't just be there without having, the attention, I guess.
Yep.
Having
Yep.
something to say about nothing. Like if it's quality over quantity when you're talking.
Right. Right. And
Yeah.
then at one point, Brittany's trying to talk to Jax and he's on his phone and she gets mad and she takes his phone away from him. And then he goes again, well, I've got all these businesses I'm running. I'm doing all this stuff. Well, so am I, Jax.
He's a gaslighter. He's such a gaslighter. It's
And
terrible.
I'm thankful that she finally sees that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sad that it took her this long to see it, but I'm thankful that she finally sees it.
And Jack says, we've been arguing a lot lately. You're an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You're terrible. You're a terrible husband. Might be a great dad. Terrible husband.
Actually, that's all I have for the Valley. Did you have anything else?
Just that Janet was complaining about not being invited to Kristen's event. Why would you want to be invited to an event that somebody you've verbally said you don't want to be around is throwing it?
Right.
It makes no sense.
No.
And then I just felt very bad for Zach at the end. I just really felt bad.
Yeah, because then he finds out, I didn't write this down, but then they're all going on this baby moon and they're not inviting Kristen.
Right.
And because it's couples, they're not inviting Zach.
Yeah, that's mean.
That's bullshit.
Right.
That's bullshit. Leave Jax at home and take Zach.
Exactly. Maybe that's
or take Luke at this point. I didn't like Luke, but you know what? Luke has got more common sense. Let Luke and Zach go.
Yeah.
And leave Kristen and Jax home.
Yeah.
And Janet while you're at it.
Yeah. I just felt very bad for Zach.
I did too.
Very upset over it.
And I don't blame him. I hope that changes. I hope he does. I hope they do invite him because that's not right.
Right.
That's not right.
Right.
Like he's just as much a part of that group as just because he's not a couple. Come on.
Right. No, that was bullshit.
Yeah. No, that was bullshit.
Yeah. But that's all I had. That was all I had.
That's it. I guess until next time. We'll be talking about. We don't even know.
We don't even know what we're going to be talking about, but Lori will be back with us.
Lori will be back next time.
Yeah. If you have any suggestions of something you want us to talk about, let us know.
Yep. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly. Bye.
Bye.